Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday night again at 8 o'clock. Thank you for joining. Hope you've had a great week so far and had an awesome weekend. I know I did. You may have seen the other day that Lisa and I were both on when I was up at Mount Tamborine, and we had an absolute ball up there, and it was just a wonderful weekend. And this week there's a lot going on. But tonight we're here to talk about you. We're here to talk about accepting you for who you are. And you would have seen that we talk a lot about self-development. You would have seen that we talk a lot about change and changing things about yourself and being who you are. And the thing that people forget or don't realize the most is that you are magnificent the way you are. It's not about changing everything about you, and it's not about changing who you are. You are who you've grown up to be. You've grown up to be who you are now to this day. And the person you are now is amazing. So when we're talking about change or getting the best of yourself, that's not talking about you need to go and change everything about yourself. It's accepting who you are and then being able to get the most out of your own life, being able to get the most out of yourself for the things that you want most. It's being the best version of yourself, being real, being who you are. That's what it's about. Hi, Kerry. Good to see you. That's what it's about. Being the best version of yourself. I can remember years and years of searching. Who am I? Where do I fit in this world? What am I supposed to be doing? Who should I be? Am I being a good husband? Am I being a good friend? Am I being a good uncle? Am I being a good work colleague? All the time, constant questioning all the time. And still sometimes I can catch myself doing that and relax, give up. Stop being so hard on yourself. You are magnificent the way you are now. Are you happy with your life now? Maybe, maybe not. Does it mean that you're a different person? Does it mean that you're not you? Being able to just accept who you are and make the changes for yourself that you want to see. It's improving yourself for you. It's improving yourself to maximize and get the best out of your life for you. And that'll in turn, if you are motivated by being good for other people around you, that will obviously flow on. By you being the best you can be for yourself, that will flow on to the people around you. I've heard stories, and I heard one today where people were talking about how, I don't know what was going on for them, but they were talking about how they were beating themselves up so much. The question I heard was, why am I like this? And just obviously, it's good to sort of ask yourself these sorts of questions. Why did I behave in this way? Why did I say that? But it depends on how you're doing it. And I think it also depends on how often and how long you let that go on for. You are magnificent the way you are now. I'll continuously say that throughout this call. Thanks, Coxie. Good to see you on, buddy. And Lisa says, changing the habit of judging myself with a question mark. So is that a question, Lisa, or is that a statement? there's quite a few people on that I can see. Hi, Lauren. Good to see you on. Carissa, Jesse. A few people that I haven't seen on before, or you may have been, and it just hasn't popped up for me. It doesn't show me everybody, but thanks for jumping on. This is the thing. We're not about saying you need to change who you are to be better. If anyone's telling you that, I call bullshit. There are so many wonderful, amazing things about who you are now. Inside, as a person. So many wonderful things. There are some things, you might have seen last week, I talked about the mixed lolly bag. There are some things in that lolly bag we don't like or we can't stand. There are some things in the lolly bag that we think are okay. And there are some things in the lolly bag that we absolutely love and would do anything to eat them. Some people, if you're sharing the bag, won't even be... They're not allowed to touch them. But for me, the black cats, I'll hand them over to anybody. And the point I'm making here is there are always going to be these little tiny things that we don't quite like about ourselves. But that's okay. Because if those things that you feel are things that you don't like, then you can change them if you want to. But it doesn't make you a bad person as a whole. It's just being the best version of yourself. Payne says, I like the black cats, you can have them. You can have them. What you're not having, what you're not going to take from me is the strawberries. I like the strawberries and the raspberries. But you can keep the black cats. So, does that make sense? And if it's not making sense, or if you disagree, please feel free to say so. This is purely for you to understand that it is absolutely 100% okay for you to accept who you are. Enjoy who you are. Enjoy your own self, like being with yourself. And it's about making your own improvements to get the best out of yourself, to get the best out of your life, to make the most of what you've got around you, to achieve what you really, really want to achieve. And if you're beating yourself up, ease up, come on. So a really good way to look at being able to accept who you are is to really dig deep and think about your strengths. Celebrate your strengths. What am I really good at? What do I love about myself? What am I good at, but I could be a little bit better. However, I'm okay with that. Thinking about who you are and being okay and celebrating who you are. So Kerry says, I'm using the relax affirmation too. So I'd love to hear a bit more on what exactly that is. So is that an app you're talking about, or is that like a technique that you're talking about for yourself that you've come across? I'd love to see exactly further on what you mean by that, but it sounds awesome. So knowing and accepting who you are and being real. Being okay with being vulnerable. I learned that a few months ago. I joined up with a group, an entrepreneur group, and I was made very, very clear. Stop trying to act like everything is perfect all the time. I realized that I wasn't allowing myself to just be quite free and vulnerable. Like I had to make out like everything was okay all the time. That's bullshit. Everyone has struggles. Everyone has bad days. Everyone has things that they don't like. Times where they're really challenged. Things can be hard. Oh, okay, just saying relax to myself. Yeah, that's really cool. Relax. Being okay to just be yourself. Be real. Be raw. Love who you are, because I can guarantee there are plenty of people around you that love you for who you are. Accept who you are. Acceptance. That is an absolutely wonderful, freeing thing. And that means that you don't give a fuck what anybody else thinks. Who gives a shit what anybody else thinks? The most important person for you to be able to accept and love and nurture and be kind to all the time must be you. You have to live with yourself 24/7. You cannot let go of that. You cannot it's not like you can disconnect. You have to live with yourself 24/7. So why not choose to be kind to yourself 24/7? Lisa says, I think that's what I mean by asking what being less judgmental. Easing up on beating up on myself for what I don't like about myself and celebrating the things I do like about myself. Absolutely. Spot on. The stuff you don't like, why does it fucking matter? Unless it's impacting on you, unless it's something that you feel could be different and you'd like for things to be different and to be more improved for yourself, then why worry about it? Unless it's getting in the way of your happiness, your freedom, your love, getting in the way of your connections with yourself and with other people, unless it's unresourceful, unless it's hurting people, unless it's hurting yourself, then why does it matter? I'm all for you doing the absolute most you can to get the absolute most out of your life and enjoy everything about yourself. So let that happen. The more you be mean to yourself, the more you stress about the things you don't like, you cannot pull yourself out of that anywhere near as easily as if you are just about improving yourself for who you are, going easier, loving yourself, celebrating the really good things about yourself, celebrating anything about yourself, accepting who you are, accepting the things that you don't necessarily like that much. I know people that there are things about them that they don't like, but I like them. What's more important, obviously, is for them to like themselves and like everything about them. But just as Kerry pointed out beautifully earlier on, relax. Go easy on yourself. Painey says, what about being too real is not getting you where you want to be? I'm going to try and... Painey, can you just be a little bit more specific? And I think I know what you mean. I just want to be really clear, and we'll be wrapping it up soon. So if you could give me just something really quickly on exactly what you mean, or if anyone else thinks that they know what he means, then please feel free, if that's okay for me to open that up, Painey. What about being too real is not getting you where... Okay. Well, then I would challenge to work out what it is that you're trying... Are you trying too hard to not be you? That's perhaps my question back to you. Because remember, I don't have all the answers. You know yourself better than anybody else. So my being who I am is not getting the play. Okay, yeah, I thought so. All right, cool. I think it's perhaps my question, as I said to you, is what are you trying to change? Are you looking deep enough into what you really want? Are there things that you really want, but you might be letting things getting in the way of you actually going for it? Limitations? And just being able to, and are you being who you really are? Are you doing everything you can to get the most of what you want? I hope that's helpful for you, buddy. Because and I know I can see I love the question. It's such a really cool question, and I hope that's added value for other people as well. As I've said to you, I've never said that I know all the answers. You are your own expert. So being who I am is not getting the places. Think about what the places you really want to be and where you are right now and what you would like to be different. Because it doesn't mean you personally have to change for that to happen. I hope that makes sense. So thank you so much for jumping on tonight. It's been a real challenge to do this call within 15 minutes. I had some excellent feedback to make these calls a little what's the word I'm looking for? A little less time. So thank you so much for jumping on. Mia, it's great to see you've jumped on at the end there. Love to see you all on here tonight. Thank you so much for joining. And I'll certainly be posting this up anyway. So if you've missed part of this call, you'll be able to check it back. But thank you again so much for calling. If there are people that have said things on here or want some more information on some stuff and talk about things a bit more, feel free to get in contact with me. I'd love to talk to you about it. Thank you so much for jumping on. Good to see you, Painey. Thanks, mate. Much love to you all. Thanks for joining, and we'll catch up again soon. Take care.